Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into the the fun stuff first. Okay. Yeah, I've been watching Love Island. But I will clarify that I skipped a bunch of episodes in the middle because here's the truth. I just looked over at my cat and he was very sleepy. Cute. Here's the truth. When I started Love Island, now I wonder if people are rolling their eyes at me. And if you're rolling your eyes, put your hand up in the chat. When I started Love Island, I said, okay, what are they going to be pushing this season? And I started the first episode. And immediately I had like very, very young girls talking about like, yeah, I want to settle down, find my man, like start to have a family soon. And I'm like, soon? I mean, you're like, when you're like 25, whatever. I was like, there were things about the girls' interviews that were giving, okay, so we're pushing some trad wifey, some conservative values. Like none of this is very new from any of these reality shows, but okay, whatever. Noted. The second thing that was noted was Sean the cop. Now, this is why I became behind on the episodes, because when they introduced Sean the cop, I said, now what are you trying to do to me? Now, what are you trying to do to me? You know, I don't want this. I was like, they better get him out. I paused the first episode and then I literally just like didn't watch it for a couple weeks. And then I was like, all right, let me see what they're doing with all of this. I picked it back up. Thankfully to finally see, it took far too long, but to see Sean kicked out. But, you know, it was valuable information to see kind of like his vibe and what they were saying. And like Officer Sexy Pants, you're really making me vomit in my mouth. Anyways, that's not necessarily shocking, but noted. If you thought Love Island was going to be immune to propaganda, you were wrong. It's everywhere. It's everywhere you look. We'll talk about it later. So, okay, that was the first thing. and then basically like I got so far behind that I skipped a bunch of episodes to become up to date. But I think, you know, I've seen what was relevant. And what I'll say is it's scary out here. It's scary out here. The propaganda that they are pushing on this show is so extra evil this season that it is sort of like, it's only shocking in how on the nose some of it is. And I guess I'm shocked when I see how some people respond to things that like, oh yeah, they're succeeding because they're tapping on a population of people who are already anti-Black, who are already misogynistic. Like they have chosen these men and women to perpetuate something they always do. And I feel like this season, let me put all my notes. I forgot I had notes. Yes. Okay. Like, well, really, let's get it. So the Anaya and Casey little moment of which she apologized for getting in his face and disrespecting him. It's really hard for me to engage with any discourse that is trying to act like Anaya is the aggressor. And it's just like the blatant misogynoir, the blatant sort of expectation for Anaya to take Casey standing and raising his voice at her. And I rewound the tapes. Okay, he is he's getting closer and closer to the girl's space. And it's really just, it is so expected for a woman to just stay small and to not defend herself. And like when a woman does defend herself, when a woman does dare to reassert her space, and yeah, even maybe back him back into sitting down, that she is like blamed for it, and she is the angry black woman trope is just, you guys are the way that you guys are doing it. And you guys, I mean, just like the people that I'm seeing, people are. And it's like, obviously this that stuff is very obvious to me. And everything that's been going on with Anaya has been really tragic. I really feel like this show has just been putting out sort of like black trauma porn. It's just like, how often can we watch Anaya in pain, as a story? Like her story is her rejection, is her in pain, is now her apologizing. Now another part of her story that gets to be highlighted and platformed is like her apologizing for taking up this space. And like, I think I will post a reel about this, or maybe this is the reel, but like, this is what is so concerning to me about the messages that Love Island is pushing, because they're the very obvious messages of like thin superiority, body fascism, white supremacy, that are like obvious. And then you also have things like this that are like, to me, the message is, if you stand up to a man, you better apologize. If you stand up for yourself against a man, it's disrespect. Even if a man has been harming you for like weeks and lying to you and disrespecting you, even if you just watched him sort of dehumanize you, even if he has been acting like you were property that owed him some sort of sexual favors, and that you were, desexualized because you didn't put out, even if all of that is happening, apologize for the disrespect of you standing up for yourself and I guess getting in his face. And I'm not judging her. I'm judging this show because I know that the show knows exactly who they're casting when they cast it. In the same way that they know who Casey and Sincere are and Corbin is and Alana was, like, they also know who Melanie is. They also know who Anaya is. They also know who Kenzie is. Like, they know how people are going to move in response to each other. And I think they know that Anaya is the kind of girl who would feel like she needs to apologize for doing that. And I think it's a really convenient message. I think the other messages of the show have all been about women being subservient. They have all been about upholding very old school patriarchy, and the way that this show has really, really, normalized these tactics of abuse and manipulation. Like, I know people throw the term gaslighting around all the time, but like, we have seen it multiple instances on this show. And it's not just, gaslighting isn't just lying to someone, right? Gaslighting is acting like the other person is crazy for believing their truth, which is the truth. And manipulating someone to believe a different reality than is the one that they know is true. The one that they know is true. Like, it is crazy. If you've ever been gaslit, you'll know it's like, but I feel like but I did say this, right? And I meant it like this. But he's saying that I meant it like this, but like, he's saying it so sure. He's saying it so sure, and he's acting upset that I won't admit to his truth. He's acting so crazy. And I'm actually, first of all, now I'm nervous because you're acting so assured of your reality. Am I fucking crazy? He's basically calling me, am I crazy? I mean, I might be crazy. Maybe I did mean it like that. Maybe, I mean, he's the one that experienced it. So then maybe, do you know what I'm saying? I'm going to stop now. I'm going to stop now. Gal did it. All these people have done it, right? And this fake accountability of just sort of being like, yeah, that was wrong and I was bad. I did the bad thing. Sorry. I did the bad thing. Whoops. it's really, really manipulative. And it's really, I so hope that Melanie gets out of her sincere situation. But the way that she was crying at the end of the episode, and the way that even it shows how much doubt she has as she's trying to assert her self-worth. All these people are around her saying, no, yeah, he fucked up. That was bad. That was bad. That was bad. But he really likes you. But he really likes you. And patriarchy, white supremacy, and everything that Love Island is pushing is telling Melanie and Anaya and every fucking woman on that show, well, you need to be chosen in the end. You want to be chosen in the end. And I think it's beyond like whether or not someone's thinking of winning or you know, of course they all like have this in the back of their head, but like this is the message of the show is be a good girl and forgive. Be a good girl and apologize. Be a good girl and admit, yeah, I was being a slut and now that this is me talking about Kenzie. The thing with Kenzie, like I'm not the number one Kenzie fan or defender, but what's going on with Kenzie is also loco because it's like now all of the men they need a woman to become the villain. They have no villain on the woman's side and they have so many villains on the men's side. So they say, okay, great. And production did this and the show did this, right? Like, okay, now we're going to show her, you know, being crazy. And now my cat's here, flip flopping and whatever. And I'm not saying she did it good or graceful, but I do feel that she was honest in every, like she was never closed off with anyone. I'm pretty sure she always said that she was exploring these other connections, right? Whatever. These men now being like, well, wow, Kenzie was basically a slut. Kenzie was like double standard much. Kenzie did the same thing and she disregarded all of these men's feelings and she is bad now. And she is bad. And we actually really liked it when Kenzie was a slut, when it benefited us. Like we love when the girls' sexuality, you know, when the availability of their bodies for us, the men, is easy access. We like really like that for us, like when it benefits our narrative. And the moment that it stops benefiting our narrative, which now that the boys have been so exposed on movie night, it no longer benefits their narrative. Now you're a slut. Now you're a slut, and you're evil for hurting poor white man Dylan's feelings with his fake white man tears. I really can't stand this man and his performance. I've already popped off of that on Instagram. I hate the guy. Wow, I really and the thing is, and that's a part of the whole like fucking analysis too, though, is like the way that this show is trying to convince you that his fake tears are real is supremacist. It is white supremacist. It does not discount the horrible things that Casey has said and done. It does not discount that to also acknowledge the way that he is that. And that's the thing. Even in the end of the episode, Casey's still not even painted that much as a villain. All right. Literally, they are like that. It was good for you that you had that conversation. Da, 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 da. He's still even painted as that much of a villain, but still in comparison, the benefit of the doubt that like this show is the way that this show is literally using music and editing to like try to convince us that Dylan is feeling these feelings and he's not actually just being a manipulator, pretty much forcing Kenzie into a closed off thing, because if not, she's bad girl, but not in the sexy way anymore. So it's all just very convenient. And if we're watching these shows, if you're watching Love Island, because nothing I'm saying is new, especially if you are following Erica Hart on Instagram or reading Erica Hart's book, Nasty Work, of which I am. I'm a very slow reader, but it's such a good book and you really need to check it out. Erica is doing all of the best analysis, and I literally I could not be watching this show if I did not have another voice on the other side, also saying all of the things plainly that they're very wrong. And I think that these shows are useful for that in the sense that reality shows, whether highly produced or not, and that is the point, because reality shows are a microcosm. Let me say that again. Reality shows are a microcosm of real life, even in the way that they are produced, because it's like you have real life, and you know what produces real life? Like, who's the executive producer of real life? White supremacy. Okay. And it's the same fucking rule in Love Island. So the way that it perpetuates and the way that rape culture perpetuates on that show, it is the same way that it perpetuates in real life. And the like low key, manipulative, abusive behaviors that we've seen. Can I say the pie challenge, or the cake throwing challenge? I saw someone else say this, and I was like, that is really true. And that is what was sitting so horrible with me, is like low key normalizing just like kind of violence against women. Now you'll say, oh, Rebecca was a cake. These are girls with their head propped up under a fucking thing, having men, some of them who are angry at them, throwing stuff at their face. I don't give a fuck if it's a marshmallow or a fucking cake or a fucking rock. Like, that is fucking weird. That is gross and weird. And to have it after, all of this drama, like, you are asking, what you are wanting is for the men, and you even say it like in the fucking dialogue, like in Ariana Madix's shit, like, you're gonna get your revenge, and the revenge is like throwing stuff at each other. It's very like, it just reminds me, and I hate to say it, but it's like, yes, everything is simply this deep. But it reminds me of being in my relationship where I rationalized with myself for so long, like, well, he doesn't hit me. 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 He throws stuff. Oh, yeah, when he's angry, he throws stuff. He throws stuff around me. He breaks stuff. He doesn't hit me. When you're doing that rationalization in your head in your relationship, things are already too far gone. And this type of stuff, not too far gone, you can get out. I did, but like they've crossed that boundary, right? Like I'll hate to break it to you, but I'll do it every time I guess I have to and can. Like when that type of expression of anger has entered the home, it's not safe anymore. And when people say like a throw can turn into a push, can turn into a hit, like that is true. Like that's true. So what are you normalizing? What are you saying is haha okay with that challenge? I can tell you if I was in that I would feel very fucking like it would not be funny to me. It is not fun. I would not be surprised if those girls are having flashbacks of cake throwing in their face. It's not good. It's really not good. Yeah. Anyways, anything else? Let me look at my notes again. Now I have my cat on me, kind of like immobilizing me. All right. I have so many notes on things. I have notes on other stuff I want to talk about, but that's going to be another day. Okay. Yeah, I mean, really, your hatred towards Black women is really wild, and and it's disgusting every time I see it. And also just like on that tip, like thought experiment. What would the reaction of these things be if Casey or just like a Black man were standing and yelling like at a white woman? How would people respond to that if she stayed small or if she got big? I just wonder. And the thing is as a woman, there's no perfect option for the response to harm from men.
I just want to clarify, I'm not even calling yelling harm. I'm not even calling KC abusive. I'm not even calling, standing up and yelling as inherently aggressive or violent. I think that these things, it's a case, like everything, and this is why we're abolitionists, these are case by case basis. But in general, this is what this reminds me of, is there is a woman being harmed in an interpersonal relationship one way or another. What is the best way to respond?
Especially if you're feeling like physically threatened, because you stay small, you're not that doesn't protect you. You stay small to try to stay protected. You stay small to, oh, maybe if I don't trigger him more, or, but that still doesn't protect you. That's not a shield. You might still get harmed. And then you stand up for yourself and you do what maybe Anaya did, and that's still threatening. And you're still not necessarily safe. So like, when there are no good options for how to stand up for yourself towards male aggression, can you realize that the male aggression is the fucking problem? And that's why, like, anyone trying to argue in the comments of my stupid Love Island reel, trying to specify, well, she got into his fate. Can you not look at cause and effect? She would have nothing to respond to. She would have nothing to defend herself towards if he didn't start escalating. If he and it's always him trying to be heard when he's not even saying anything. When he's not saying anything. It doesn't even. Anyways. I guess I'm glad he said that it was cringe. But like, that's what I'm saying. The fake apology thing of like being like, yeah, that was bad. We'll see how he moves now. But it just feels like the way that all of these men on Love Island and the world over get to just continue to perpetuate the same stupid bullshit. The same fucking anti-black, violent bullshit. The same anti-woman bullshit. Louis C.K. can fucking do what he did. He's backing at it again. This is what happens when you get to just say, sorry. Because the world does not give a fuck about women. Because Love Island is an encapsulation of how white supremacy and patriarchy together discard women and their bodies at such alarming rates. And black women at even more alarming rates. Trans women at even more alarming rates. Black trans women, the rates are very alarming. It's not a fucking joke. It's just fucking true. I feel like sometimes I say stuff and I'm like, do I say it so cavalier, like insensitive? And it's just like, I hope no one thinks I'm insensitive. It's just that the plain fact of it all becomes so exhausting that it's hard to even continue to, it's hard to figure out how to express it in a way that also encapsulates how pedestrian it's become. And I don't want to normalize that. It's very important and disgusting that black trans women are killed at the rate that they are in this country. The end. Point blank, period. Okay.